Hello, I'm Cedar and today I'm here to discuss about the tracker object. So basically, a tracker object is a part of Universal Library, right? Which is used to abstract the requests that we send to Google Analytics when we want to collect data. So today we will understand that what actually is a tracker object. We will observe that how does it work, and we will see that why does Google Analytics need it and how does it work in Google Tag Manager. We will also see that what is the problem that occurs in single page application with respect to the tracker object. Now, first of all, when we use Google Analytics, a new tracker object needs to be created before we can send any data like any hit or for page view or any event, right? The first tracker object is created without the name, and then we have the name of the tracker object from then after, right? So first of all, let's go to inspect and let's go to console. So we are able to see some information here. Let's study it and understand about the tracker object, right? Okay, so first of all, it is running a command which is GA create, and it is specifying the ID of our analytics, and it is specifying some other values here. Then there is the name of the tracker object, right? And it is also displaying the message that creating a new tracker GTM3. Now, as this tracker is created once, the requests that are being sent to Google Analytics will be sent with its reference, like GTM3 dot require, GTM3.linker, GTM3.set, and GTM3.send, right? So the requests that are sent to Google Analytics after this will be corresponding to this tracker object. Now, we can create our own tracker object. Like if we scroll down a bit, yeah. So if I write here GA and I say that create, then I specify the ID. Now this is a random ID, it's not the actual ID, right? Then we, in the curly brackets, specify the name of the object. Let's say we call it new tracker, right? Let's hit enter. So we have a message that creating a new tracker with the name new tracker, right? So what can we do now? We can do a whole lot of things. Like let's say that we want to send a page view hit, right? So what can we do? GA new tracker dot send. Then we specify the page view here, right? And let's hit enter. Yeah, so it has sent a page view hit, right? Now, what else we can do here, that we can set some things like let's say I want to GA, and inside it I say new tracker dot set, right? So we are constantly using the name new tracker because we created it here, right? Then we say uh, let's say dimension 1. Let us put the value user log in, right? Let's just close it. Now this is set. And this dimension will be used with all the further requests. Like if I go here and create a request for an event, right? I say that new tracker dot send, and I want to send an event. The name of the event is, let's say, XYZ, and the value is test, right? So now if I see, the value of dimension 1 is user logged in, right? So it is like there for all the other requests that are sent. Now what if we want to send a request in which we want to specifically change this value? So we can do that too. Like if we say GA and we say new tracker dot send, and we say that we want to send a hit for page view, but we want to change the value for dimension, right? We do not want it to be as user logged in, but for this particular page view we want it to be user logged out. So what will we do? We will simply say dimension 1 user logged out. Error, yeah. So let's go. So we see that the value of dimension 1 is changed for this particular page view. But as we have not updated it for the other events and other hits that are being sent through Google Analytics, if I again run the event command, this one, then I will see the value as user logged in because the value is still persisting, right? Now, let's say that I after all want to change this value, right? So which is easy. I simply say that I want to set this as user log out, right? Now the value is updated and it will be updated for all the further hits that will be sent to Google Analytics. Like if I run the event hit again, now it is showing that the value of dimension 1 is user log out. One more thing to remember here is that we can create the tracker object, right? And we can even create the tracker object for different IDs. Like if I change the ID here and I name this as tracker 1, then I can create it, right? But the thing to remember here is that we cannot create a tracker object with the same name for the same ID. If I try to do this, the new tracker object already exists for the universal ID that we are entering here. So if I click enter, it will clearly say that ignoring the create request for the duplicate tracking name. Now, if we want to create two tracker objects for the same universal ID, then what can we do? We can simply modify the name, right? And then the object will be created, right? So this is one thing that we should keep in mind. Now, what if we want to extract some values from here? Like we want to, see these values. So let's say GA dot get by name, and then we specify our tracker. So we want the value from new tracker, and we want to get the value for dimension 1, right? Hit enter. I'm seeing the value user logged out because we updated it, right? Now, what if I want the value for, let's say, the client ID or hit type or any such thing? So we can do that too. If I select client ID Let's see that if we have spelled it correct. Yeah. So let's hit enter. So we are getting the value. Similarly, we can also extract the value of, let's say, title. It's showing the value. And one more thing that will be very important to us is location. So if we write location here, then we are seeing, right? So this is the Google Analytics tracker object, and this is how it works in analytics.js. And Google Tag Manager also use analytics.js, but there are some differences. Like Google Tag Manager creates a new tracker object for each time a GTM tag is fired, right? So why is that? Because it is done to prevent the leaking of data. Like if it is a page view, then there will be a separate tracker object for that. And if there is another event that is occurring and a tag is firing, so there will be a different tracker object for that. Even if a same tag is fired multiple times, then there will be a different tracker object, right? So we can see that k dot get all dot one. So these are showing us 4 trackers right now. So these totally depends on Google Tag Manager that how much trackers are applied in the background, right? And yeah, so it is very crucial for us to understand. Now, there is one problem that we face, right? Uh, let's just close this and let's just go here and go to the preview. Let's connect. Let's go to console. Now, so we see that it is creating the tracker object with name GTM27 and it is using it. Then it is also creating GTM29 because as we discussed, it is creating different tracker objects, right? So if I go here and I simply just write GA dot get on. So it is showing that 2 tracker objects are created as of now. So we can see that it is different, and as we progress and as more and more tags are fired, then this can keep increasing, right? Now, if we are using a single page application, there is some problem that we might face. So first of all, let's go here and inside the Netlify, I have, this is like just a basic search and I have changed the href here as I'm not using any paid traffic. So what are we trying to understand here? That sometimes we place ad on Google, right? And from that, the user comes to our website. So to track that separately, Google Analytics basically adds a GCL ID, right? So it adds that to the URL so that it can keep a difference between the organic and the CPC traffic, right? But what happens is that in a single page application, when the URL is changed, so the reference to the website is also changed. Like instead of the paid traffic, it starts counting it as an organic traffic. So this is our problem that we are facing here, right? So let's open this. I have already like changed the link of my website here. Let's go here and click inspect. and in the network, just a second. Yeah, so we can see that here, if I scroll down, I can see that my referrer is google.com, right? If I go to analytics, refresh it. So it is showing, and if I go to traffic source, yeah, so this is showing CPC. Now, what the problem arises is if inside this, I just, let's go to console and let's try to mimic something that happens on a single page application, right? So if we say window dot history dot push state and we say none, none, and we just specify the URL contact us.html, right? So now if we go and check the name of our tracker object, it is GTM3, right? So let's just copy it. Let's go here and try to create a page view it. So we say GA. GTM3.send and we say page view. Now currently this is showing the referrer as google.com, but in single page application, the referrer changes, right? So for solving that problem, we can do some things in Google Tag Manager, which can help us to deal with it. So let's go to Google Tag Manager and understand that what do we want to do, right? So here, if we go inside tags, I have created this DLP original location. Now, what am I doing in it? I am basically storing the current location, the location that was the CPC URL, right? So the document.location.href, and I am pushing it inside the data layer, basically window dot data layer dot push, and the value of original location is document.location.href, right? So this helps us to store the location in the data layer so we do not lose track of it. Now, let us go to variables. And inside variables, we have, I have created a data layer variable. So which is just basically extracting the value from the data layer where the variable name is original location, right? So variable type is data layer variable, which I have selected from this, the variable type data layer variable, and it is extracting the value from data layer of original location. And I have named it as DLV original location. Now, we have created another variable here, which is a custom JavaScript variable type. And basically, we have a function inside it. So what is it doing? Either it is returning the value from the data layer variable, and if it is not there, like if due to any reason the value is not set or it is not being able to be fetched right now, then we are just simply saying that document.location.href, the current address should be returned to this variable, right? So we have created a tag, we have created two variables, Now we will configure it with our Google Analytics setting. So we go to GA cross domain variable here, and inside it, I have added two more fields. So the first field is of location, and the variable is custom JavaScript original location, which is the variable which has a function in it, which first of all tries to capture the variable from the data layer that we pushed using our tag. And the second thing that it is doing, that if it is not there, like the data layer variable is not there, then we will simply get the current URL, right? Then we have added a field as page, and this variable is from Simo Avaha, and it's his variable which I have imported from the like here template gallery. So this is basically URL 2.0, and it has all these options to collect protocol, to host name, port, path, extension, query strings, and all these things, right? I'll discard this and I'll show the variable that I already created. Yeah, custom page and search. So here we are just tracking the path and the query string. And in the GA cross domain, we were viewing the settings, right? And here in the page field name, we have passed the value for this variable. Now, this will help us to solve the problem of rogue referral. So basically, like the problem that the user is coming from a paid traffic, and in a single page application, when the URL is being changed, so analytics is counting it as a organic traffic instead of a CPC. So this problem is referred to as a rogue referral, and we can solve it using this Google Tag Manager setup that we just did, right? So the tag that we created is set to fire on, like the trigger for this tag is all pages and page view, right? So yeah, let's go to preview. Check connect. So we are able to see the original location here, right? So currently, as we are using the debugger mode, so it is showing that URL. But if I just, let's say, I navigate a little bit to about, yeah, so it is showing us the value from the URL, right? So this is what a tracking object is, and Google Tag Manager uses it to its own benefit. We learned that Google Tag Manager creates a different tracking object for each tag, so that a data from one tracking object is not leaked on to the another one. Like let's say we do a page view and after that we do something else. So we don't want the data from page view to be leaked to the another tracker object. But sometimes this creating of separate tracking objects leads to a problem for us, that being in a single page application, the traffic is not being able to calculate properly. So in Google Tag Manager, we saw a workaround using which we can overcome that. Thank you.